You know it's a great movie when your only complaint is when you want more of it. Mad Max Fury Road is the PCP of cinema, riles you up in a state of sensory heightening. Mastermind George Miller, the same guy who did the Babe movies, continues with his other series of brilliance. He doesn't do many films, but he's one of those rare directors that probably deserves more of a cult following than he gets. And with Fury Road, the fourth installment of the Mad Max series, I highly doubt Miller could have done this as blisteringly frenetic as he could even 10 or 5 years ago, or whenever the fuck Heath Ledger was supposed to star. Instead of the Joker, we get Bane, Tom Hardy, and a bunch of other guys wearing Bane masks, or if they're not, they should be wearing Bane masks, because these are some demonic-looking motherfuckers. This movie is nails in a blender. It's a curb stomp so skillful that you can't help but ignore your friend crying and spitting teeth in the street and just applaud like and cheer for it. If there is ever a case that can be made that movies can make us glorify violence as, you know, for the sake of the thrill of violence, then this is it, you know. And it's not even because it's that violent. It's not realistic at all. It's very cartoonish. It's just awesome. It's how the violence escalates. It's how it's done. And it just keeps going and going until the engine runs out of gas. And the logic of the fight scenes is insane. It's unbelievable. And at 2 hours, the pace is relentless and flies by. This is going to be the standard in years to come that modern action movies will be judged by, for sure. At first, Miller's technique was severely distracting me. It takes a while to adjust to what seems like an issue with the projection. Like, it seemed like that failed experiment that they did with the first Hobbit movie, where the action seems sped up, and you need to probably drink a Red Bull or two just to keep up, but ultimately your eyes will adjust, and this is hardcore off-the-chain shit. The shot where you think it's a mountain, it's probably been done 1,000 times before, but it's just so new here. You know, the ring of the gunshot that lasts over the main action. It's an utterly new phase of cinema that I'm both terrified of and utterly compelled by. Hyperrealism, I think it's called. And Miller invented it with the first Mad Max, but not like this. And the plot is so basic that it's hard to say what the goal really is. All that matters is that the bad guys are stupid enough to make it so that the heroes can make a full round trip and annihilate an entire army of supply of truck tanks. A villain is, for lack of a better description, a ham. A rotten ham at that, but a ham nonetheless. Why am I telling Australia? Because I love this movie so much, that's why. A cross between an orc and the villain from Sinister. Find the halflings! You know? But what would any of this head-banging, pole-vaulting, razzle-dazzle mean if the characters weren't well-defined? You got Charlize Theron as the greatest action movie chick I've seen in a long time. Fuck that Katniss. So, this is another great performance from her that actually upstages Mad Max. Furiosa should be in the title. That's her name. And if you can make a bald chick with one arm look good to me, I'll have to reevaluate that tranny prostitute last night, because it changes your outlook on life a bit, you know? And I have no problem with her taking the wheel of the series, because I'm not gonna go back and watch the Jesus pornographer Mel Gibson fucking do that shit again. Like, there's a reason Miller waited so long to return to the franchise. Well, there are a lot of reasons, including fucking flowers growing in the outback. But when Mel was too passed out to be angry anymore, it kind of opens up an opportunity to not get killed on set. You know, because you're a Jew. And it's over so fast you don't even have time to question it. It makes me want to take up Legos again and let my mind run wild like a nude Australian boy in the outback. And perhaps only early James Cameron could match with the technical skill, and I think Cameron slightly surpassed it with just the relentlessness part. I felt like it could have been a little longer, in fact, but you basically got a 2-hour non-stop truck ride with 3 whiny pregnant bitches and an aerosol-sucking crackhead hanging onto the back, not sure where to go. And I know what you're thinking. Oh no, not another Spears family road trip. No, it's Mad Max. Yeah, but he's not really mad, because Tom Hardy doesn't really do shit with the role. For some reason, has a little girl bothering him all the time. But I guess Indifferent Max is not as catchy of a title. You'll just have to understand how it all works once you see it. It's just a great movie. it's got the good guy, it's got the bad guy, and the characters are built upon the action. I don't know how it's done, but it's really quite amazing.